Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you might be in this world. This is Hedgie Lee with an evening update for Bitcoin. I want to go back. I've done this before, I think maybe a month and a half ago. The big picture assessment for Bitcoin from an Elliott wave perspective. And I want to revisit it again because this morning I put out that wave 4 is in and that we are working on wave 5. In other words, wave 4 has been put in. The recent 3,000 bottom is wave 4, and wave 5, this wave 5 right here, is being put in. So let's go back to near the Genesis period. From 2010 when it was maybe a penny, to the skyrocket at that time to 215 gave the first wave 1 crash to wave 2. It doesn't look like a crash here on a linear scale. 3, 4, and wave 5. Now when I take this blue wave 5, and subdivide it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the white circle Roman numerals, which is what I've been saying when I say when we finish wave 4, this is the lesser degree circled Roman numeral. This is a daily cycle, daily chart. So once wave 5 is put in, so here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let me once I can label this 2, 3 will be at 6,200. 4 will come back to maybe 5,800 or so. And 5 will give me maybe 7,200. Like that. So okay, so it'll complete something to this effect, let's say. And if that's the case, one has to then be very curious as to what happens after that. So then the big question is, all right, so once this 7,200 was plus or minus a few hundred, the precision of which is not the point at this point. What really has to be concerned is what happens after this top. With every 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the blue Roman numeral, in that case that's 5 waves, and after 5 waves what do you get? You have the requisite ABC retracement. So I think from this price region, maybe it'll go as I say 8 or 9,000. I don't know. Maybe the 5 will get extended. Possible. But I don't think so. I think 72, 3, 4, 500-ish, maybe even less, 6,500 would be it. Anyways, this wave will finish 6,200, 4, 5, wherever it finishes. I said the key is what happens. There's got to be an ABC retrace. And this first down could be very dramatic. And it could be down to $2,700-ish to the prior wave 4 in this case. That'll be the first downdraft of A. B could bring us back to near the 5,000 range. And scoot this over so I can have that space. So we have A, and it will most likely be in a 5-wave format. Then we'll have a B in a 3-wave format. And C in this format. It'll look like this. I know for the Uber bulls, when you see something like that, you want to throw a brick at the monitor. It goes against all the beliefs that you've had for Bitcoin. I had shown this before. And it looked like this. Right here. Before we had the wave 4 correction to 3,000. I had said we are approaching here. These are my original markings. And that we will get one final leg up. And I have been calling somewhere between 7,000 to 9,000. And then after that we'll have a massive correction. I know many analysts out there will see this and call me a nuthead. I couldn't care less. I go by my analysis only. I don't debunk anyone else's. I follow mine only, have been now for 15 plus years and have done pretty well. So this will be the ABC. And you're thinking, oh my God, look at the fall. It's like the fall of Lucifer. Sub 500, are you nuts? No. I am not. I am sane as sane can be. And I believe all the early weavers out there know that technical analysis is not dictated by how we feel about our analysis. It's dictated by sentiment, yes. So here's ABC. And what I'm showing you here is now with the further developed prices. we're on a trajectory way to that 7 to 9,000 SA. Although I don't think it'll now go to 9,000 price pathway. And it is probably during this journey and I'm not too sure about the timeline though. But let's keep it the way it is right now. That we will go to 6,200 or 6,500. There will be a correction for wave 4 and one final leg up. As to what news or event will justify these movements, I have no idea. But I do know this. Elliott Waves states that a news or an event shall arrive to justify the forecast. And I believe this Elliott wave count is correct on the probability side for me, probable side for me. And if this looks like a too deep, in fact, I got the time line off. Okay. Too deep of a retrace, I think then we can look at it in a more of a normalized chart. And what do you call that? A logarithmic chart. So here is the logarithmic chart. When I first introduced this, I think it must have another technical analyst had commented and critiqued that this count here does not take it to the genesis. All of the, like this here does not look like a crash. So this linear chart is incorrect. Does not reflect a normalized price movement of the bubbles and crashes on this phase of the growth of Bitcoin. Fair enough. So then I said, let's look at it from a logarithmic chart. Here's all the peaks and valleys from the genesis point, around 2010-ish. We did wave 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, and we have been working on wave 5 since 2015. And we're almost there. Okay. Disregard this price because it was only projecting. As real prices are coming in, we now have a better idea. So once wave 5 is in on this logarithmic chart, just like Elliott wave states, after a 5-wave motive, there is a requisite ABC 3-wave correction to the prior wave 4. So in drawing this like this, prior wave 4 was around 240-ish or so. That is where I'm getting the sub 500s, 275-ish. And in the logarithmic chart, prior wave 4 would be pretty much around the same price region. Now all the Uber bulls, the Uber perma bulls for Bitcoin, they will vehemently deny this. They are the hodlers. And they have a different belief system. And when you present something that goes against someone's belief, it's very threatening. But Elliott Waves doesn't care, unfortunately, for them about how they feel about Elliott Waves. Elliott Waves is a technical analysis that is based on the golden ratio, the Fibonacci ratio, 0.618. And every one of these waves, at every degree of trend, from centuries to years to hours, minutes, seconds, nanoseconds, these Elliott waves are occurring at all degrees of trend at the same time. And they obey the same law, Elliott wave law, rule, that with every 5-wave impulse there must be a 3-wave retrace. And here is a 5-wave impulse. There must be a retrace. And someone will say, well, I don't like your count. I don't think you counted wrong. First, I never argue with anybody if they don't agree with my count. I say, you win, you're right, move on. There's no happiness to be found in arguing about the accuracy of a count or how to count it. If it's wrong, that's one thing, in that it violates one of the rules, of course. But if it meets all the rules, there's no happiness to be argued about it, to be found, to be arguing over that. Now, yes, there is another way to count it. Here's another way. 1, 2, 3. I can call this A, B, expanded B, and C. What is an expanded flat? Expanded flat must have B higher than the prior peak and C lower than the bottom of A. A, B, C. That could be the 4 here. Now what I'm going to focus on is not so much this. I'm going to focus on the bottom of this. The mass psychology, the sentiment for Bitcoin. If you remember the dot-com bust, at the end of that bust in 2003, nobody wanted to hear about dot-com anything. At this point, it will be very scary to going down. But if this is correct, at the level of the bottom of ABC, the terminal end of C, correction. So somewhere down here, sometime maybe in 2019, people are going to hate Bitcoin. They would have lost their shirt if they didn't take their profits. This is why I'm saying now is not the time to be buying. Now is the time to be taking profit sell actions. A de-risking technique to have. Down here, people will hate it if they didn't sell. They would have lost everything they had. They would have lost their faith in hodling. The sentiment towards Bitcoin would be just utter disgust. People will advise you not to even get involved in anything called Bitcoin or cryptos or altcoins. And difficult as it will be at that time, this will be the time to buy. For all of you, if you missed it here when it was pennies, you get one more chance. This will be the time to buy and amass your Bitcoins when everyone's spitting on it, stomping on it, hating it. When everyone's so afraid to even utter the words Bitcoin. When everyone's afraid, that's when you get greedy. Right here. In fact, you might want to start somewhere here and start laddering down. Why? The profits you would have taken here, you will take your profits. I will. That's what I'm doing. Have plenty of dry kegs to deploy and purchase here with confidence, to buy with discipline, serenity, analytically, and with experience. because I've seen this before in a miniature forms, and I caught it. I caught this one with 7 buy wrongs. I'm on the blog, in my blog, evidence of performance there. And what I'm now doing is, at around here, I'm going to get rid of all my Bitcoins. I couldn't care less about this. Safety is priority 1. And at around somewhere here, I plan on profit selling all my altcoins. I will be 100% exiting in this format. I have always said consistently wave 5 of 5 is the best wave to be start taking your profits. So I just explained to you, here you go against the crowd, just like I would be going against the crowd here, but there's utter giddiness, euphoria. Every analyst out there is calling for 9,000, 10,000, 13,000, 50,000. And the quote, it's better to be out of the market wishing you were in than in the market. Like here, when this happens, wishing you were out. This will be, the first leg of A will probably be very terrifying. It will happen very quickly. It will become almost a bidless market. Exchanges will get clogged. Fear will be rampant. And then some ray of hope, people will think, smoke is cleared. We can go back in. Buy. Signs will come in. Only to realize and experience Elliott wave's 3-wave correction. And it's really at this point here where the utter disgust, the fear will turn to disgust. And the Oracle of Omaha, very smart man. To me, he's down bottom, he's really a technical analyst. Why? He reads sentiment. Otherwise, he would have never, if he was not a technical analyst in his heart, he would have never said, be greedy when others are fearful, down here. Be fearful when others are greedy, up here. That is, to me, a pure technical analyst. Now, if you buy here, and if I'm right, this is correct where you have the courage to buy. Elliott wave states that, yes, after 5 waves, there's a 3-wave correction. That is a requisite. But I have also consistently said in almost just about every analysis, the best time to get in is at the terminal end of an ABC correction. Why? Because after an ABC correction, there will be a reversal. And my God, on a logarithmic scale, this reversal from 120 to $37,500. Bitcoin will not die. It just is going through its Fibonacci-based, sentiment-driven waves. After this ABC, if you buy at the terminal end of the ABC, 37,500 will be next. Now, will HODL work? Absolutely. If you want to hold it from here to 120 and wait till 37,500, perfectly fine. But how many will have the wherewithal of emotional maturity, threshold of pain, to take that? Some do. I know some who have time locked their Bitcoins and they won't be able to do diddly about it. I know one guy who wanted to time lock for 2027 and he made it 2,270. Can consider all those Bitcoins at least gone in his lifetime. When things like that happen, it's flabbergasting. When mistakes like that happen, the world's IQ just temporarily dips a little bit. Anyways, this is what I'm waiting for. And the resulting turn. You want to look at it a different way? Here it is. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Fine, call this 4. I don't care what you call it. There's more than one way to count it, but the destination will be the same. Okay? I present this not to be a rogue. I present this not to be a disruptor, but because I'm a technical analyst. I count the Elliott waves and I present it as I see it. Whether you agree with me or not matters none to me. I debunk not anyone else's analysis, I only follow my own. I started my Steemit blogs to help others, to help and do no harm. That is the primary objective of my blog. If I can help others avoid this, come out safe, and re-enter at this entry level, and experience this, just imagine if you bought 1,000 or 500 at 120 Bitcoins, and then it goes to 27,000. Your future generations will bless your name for the phenomenal, massive wealth inheritances you can provide. I'll end with that.